Hey YouTube. I noticed that Tim the Bible Thumping Wingnut uploaded a video tonight called Offending the Offender, in which he talks about several people, myself included, who have expressed that we don't wish to converse with the Bible Thumping Wingnut and other presuppositional apologists because they profess to tell us what we know, that we know God exists, and that he's equally offended by atheists telling him that he can't know God exists or that there's no evidence for God. Now, in my regular life, I'm sort of what's known as a bit of a fence mender and intermediary sometimes. And it's not that I'm saying there's any fences to be mended here. I've never really established communication with the Bible Thumping Wingnut in the first place. But I would like to take this opportunity to clarify my position. Now, when the Wingnut suggests that atheists are offended by being told that he can know the contents of their mind, that they know God exists, this is incorrect. I'm not that easily offended. I don't really care. You can call me names if you like. Not going to bother me. The reason that I would not converse with someone on a Google Hangout or any kind of a debate is because if someone's going to profess to know the contents of my mind, there's not much point. That's what I would be communicating. And you can't really have an open and honest discussion with someone who's going to continue to tell you what you know. Like, I'm a pretty open book, and I'd be more than happy to sit down with someone and express and explain my life's experiences and why these doctrines don't resonate with me in the slightest. Why I actually feel like that's a refutation of Scripture. And how that's all transpired. But I can't do that and honestly communicate that when someone keeps saying, yeah, no, that's wrong. Yeah, no, that's right. No, you don't really feel that way. There's no point. If you're going to profess to know the contents of my mind, there's no point in communicating. Now, when it comes to Christians being offended by atheists saying that there's no evidence for God, well, that's an evidentiary argument. You can provide some evidence, and then we'll see if that's actually evidence. But that's just a truth claim, right? To say that we can know that you don't know that God exists, I've never said that. If someone has said that to you, then your beef is with them, not with me, because I would never profess to know what you know. That's kind of the whole point. I can say that you believing that you know God exists does not necessarily equate to God. I've made that point in several of my videos when it comes to Seidenberg and Kate saying that we can know, or that it's been revealed in such a way we can know it for certain. And I've said that knowing it for certain does not necessarily equate that it's been revealed to you. So I'm not sure that's a real divide, and I don't think it's the same barricade or barrier to communication as telling someone what they profess, telling someone what they know, that they know God exists. And he sort of says in the video, he talks a lot about how this is a great divide between atheists and theists, and I would actually say, I would actually refer you, Tim, to The Place and The Unconventional Pastor and some other YouTubers on here that don't have the same friction with atheists. And so, obviously the difference here is that the presuppositionalist runs around professing to know a lot of stuff that they can't demonstrate. And I think it was Vlad actually made that point on the comments feed of your video where he said that all men know God exists. The point is that this is a provably false claim. And Bina Berry actually made a good point as well. He said that, what's not, the distinction that's not often made here is the difference between, I know and I believe. And I think a lot of people would have a lot less issue with the presuppositional apologist if they said, well, this is what we believe. I believe this. But they like to run around saying, I know, and I know what you know. Not only do I know what's factual and what's true, and I know what I know, but I know what you know. That's just a barrier to communication. I mean, these are the things we would be communicating. I don't know if I can make that point strongly enough. There's no point if you're going to profess to know the contents of my mind. Now, the one thing I will say is I do appreciate Tim's sentiment towards the end of the video where he said, this is just YouTube. We need to take the rhetoric down a little bit. And I've always been an advocate for that. I don't think there's, I think the abuse on YouTube is unfortunate because we live in unique times to to this point. Communication is such an open portal nowadays where we can be exposed, we can express our opinions and our experiences to people who would never otherwise hear them, and we can expose ourselves to experiences and viewpoints that we never would have heard otherwise. And I think that's a fantastic thing. So I'm all for taking the rhetoric down. I'm all for attacking ideas and not people. And I think that's an important thing to do. Ideas, they're open season. So keep that in mind as we go on. But I did want to clarify my position because I think it's important to make that distinction that I'm not offended that you claim to know what I know. First of all, it's just wrong. You're wrong. But second of all, there's no way we can communicate from that point. There's nowhere I can go from there. I mean, why would you want to? Why would you want to communicate with me? What can I tell you that you don't already know? You think you know. I think that's a pretty important point to drive home. And I'm not sure what to say about that because as far as I'm concerned, it's your issue. Your scripture, your belief system, and it's your issue that's causing that. This is a logical problem. This isn't me being offended problem. This is a logical problem. I can't communicate the contents of my mind, or there's no point in doing so, when the person I would be communicating it to professes to know what it is beforehand. And will actually accuse me of suppressing the truth or somehow not knowing. I should remind you that that awareness is a component of knowing something. If I'm not aware of it, I don't know it. So for you to tell me that I know it kind of doesn't make a lot of logical sense. So I just wanted to clarify that. Like I say, I don't actually have any ill will towards any of these people. How could I? I don't know them. But I'm certainly not going to subject myself to any kind of a Google Hangout or a debate with someone who's going to profess to know the contents of my mind. Thanks very much for watching.